Thank you for joining us today. Today we're doing our Gridiron Survivor Hackathon sprint demos. A lot of these individuals have been working for weeks on just understanding what AI is, the capabilities of agents, MCPs, also just collaborating and coming up with an agentic travel app. And so today, there are 4 individuals that are going to demo what they're doing, what they're learning. And we're going to try to do this once every week. So hopefully we continue to do this and continue to have amazing learnings from this. So without further ado, our first person that's going to demo is Hector. All right, hold on, Hector. Let me unpin myself. All right, so go ahead and share your screen, and then I will switch the layout.
Okay, sharing.
Oh, keep talking.
Okay, can you see my screen? My terminal?
I can see your screen, but Amin is down there. Hold on. Oh no! Oh no! Why does it always do this to me? Hold on! Hold on. Do I keep talking, Hector?
Should I start then? Or just talking for
Just
testing?
wait.
Okay,
Just
testing.
wait.
Toy is on Hector's screen, but Amon's just popped up.
Yeah, Aman is. He's the one that's in there. Like this happened to us last time. Okay, so how do I move you?
How about Hector moves around his mouse and then Amon just talks for him?
Like a puppet?
Yeah.
All right, aren't you guys mute? Let me try something here. Let me try something here. Hold on. Go ahead, Hector. Keep talking.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. My name's Hector. I'm part of Team Gumshoes. I'm going to start my presentation now.
Yep.
Okay. So my name is Hector. I'm part of Team Gumshoes in this hackathon, and I've been working on creating an AI agent. At first, I started with by following a simple tutorial from LangChain. I followed their tutorial to make an arithmetic AI agent. You can see this was all just one file. First step is you just make the model. Here I used Olama to have a local model. Then I define tools. Here you can see an addition tool, subtraction tool, multiplication tool, division tool. And I'm able to bind those tools to the model I used. And next, I have to create a call LLM function, which just like prompts the LLM to give an output. So I tell it the LLM should do, and I tell it the tools it should use. I also create a call tool function, which is just a way for the LLM to be able to call the tools I defined above. Next, I create the agent. And the important difference between an agent and an LLM is that an agent has a while loop where it can reason with itself and until it gets an output that it thinks it's correct. And it can also leverage more things like memory and like the tools I stated above. And here I just call and output the results of the agent. So that was the first step I did. But since this is all one file and it has so many steps, it'd be kind of hard to scale it. So that was what I did next. So you can see here, I created uh, a new index file. This is just the output that just continuously outputs to the terminal. And I created a manager agent, an arithmetic agent, which is the original arithmetic agent, and a new flight agent. The manager agent, all it really does is decide what agent to run based on the user's prompt, and it calls the arithmetic agent or a flight agent. The prompt for the manager agent is this classify intent function, where it takes the user's last message and tries to figure out what their intent is. You can see, so the message gets passed into the LLM. You're an intent classifier. I give it a bunch of rules, and all it does is output JSON where the intent should be either arithmetic, flights, or unsupported. After it does that, it calls the correct agent. Uh, let's see. So here's how I split apart the arithmetic agent. Just like the single file that I showed before, I separated it. So I have a model file. No, wait, sorry. I have a folder right here with different models. I have an OpenAI model, a Gemini model, and an Olama model. And I import it into, I can import either model I want, depending on which one I want that specific agent to use. Here I have all the tools that this specific LLM can use, which is defined here in this. That's probably better. And that's right here in this tools folder, just simple arithmetic functions. And then and then here is the while loop for the arithmetic agent, which just does what it did previously, and it can answer arithmetic problems. And then the flight agent is more complicated because it uses a third-party API to find flights. And right here, you see it calls this API, and with all these parameters, the simple stuff if you're used to like fetching in front end. And what the flight agent does, or what they utilize, is had a function here. Where was, oh, here, util. So I have specific functions for the flights. So once they get specific flight data, I can then prompt it to summarize the flights they received, and you can like summarize it in a simple way for the user to understand. See, so I can run an example really quick. Hopefully it's not too slow. Right here, see, hi, I can help you find flights. Please ask arithmetic or travel related questions. What is 2 plus 7? Here we go. It's thinking. After a bit of time,
It has to be 6, 7.
right? 2 plus 7 equals 9. So then let's like try to experiment with like its memory. So I'll just give it one number. So like what? No, multiply 6. Okay, and then it provides because the multiplication tool needs 2 parameters. The agent sees that it's missing a parameter, and I specifically told it. Let's see here. Right. If the user asks for unsupported if missing info, ask only for what's needed. Example, what's the second number? That's why it did that. Now
nice.
let's try out the flight agent. Can you find flights from to LHR, which is in London, leaving January 10th? So it thinks a bit, and it should know what tool to use, but it should realize that there is missing parameters. And
because it doesn't know where you're trying to fly from, right?
yeah, so yeah, ask for one piece of missing information at a time. It can review conversation history. These are what, okay. Oh, wait, something more. The API I use only has an access token that's valid for like 30 minutes at a time, so I have to refresh it. uh, Wait, let me stop sharing my screen just for 1 second. Let me get a new API token.
No worries. Yeah, I want to see that working. That's interesting how you can feed it the rules and then because without the rules, does it just hallucinate?
Uh, Depends. I also gave it like error checking, so if the API isn't available, the LLM will just say something went wrong, try again later.
Hmm.
But I think it'll also just like not respond to anything because it sees that no tools were called and it'll just not respond. Okay, let me share again. Know when you can see the screen.
Yep. You can see.
Let me do the thing I said originally before. Multiply 6. Okay, and then I'll say, can you find flights to LHR leaving January 10th? Okay, and now we should think. Yeah, see, so the something went wrong error message is because the API token was expired. Okay, what's your origin airport? So it'll say one by one what
Oh, yeah, I saw that rule.
what it is, but I'm just gonna provide everything all at once. So JFK and returning January 20th. And I think it'll also ask for the year. Year is 2026. 2026. Okay, so after that, the agent will use the API, the flight API, to get data. And I also have a no, not that. Yeah, so since the API just returns JSON data, the LLM can't really read that correctly. So in the, no, it's not there. Where was it? Tools. Tools. Oh, okay. So once I get the response back from the API, I have to loop through it and only get the things I want. So for every offer, I get the currency, price. If it has multiple like segments in the trip, this is all things that had to be done without the LLM because if it gets the all of the output from the API, that'd just be too confusing for it. So I have to extract only what I need, and I also gave it a summarize flight function. So after it gets all of the extracted data, it'll just summarize it and give the user like a best uh like the best option. So let's see if okay,
See
yep.
what I
And
got.
here it is. Let's go all the way to the top. Okay, so here it is. I found round trip options from JFK, January 10th to January 20th. These are all the summarized options. And right here, starting from number 1, this is the actual data that got fetched from the API. So
Oh, that's cool.
something like this would get printed in the chat if the user's typing, and this would just be used to like populate cards on the page for the user. And
That's
yeah,
pretty
so
cool. Could
so
it also do like if you did a budget, like hey, I have a $400 budget. I'm
uh,
not telling it to do it right now, but it could do that, correct?
it depends on like the endpoint that I use. So this is like the cheapest
Oh,
flights tool. So
okay.
all it does is gets the origin, the destination, departure, and return date.
Oh, I see. I see.
So if any of
Cool.
those are missing, then the LLM prompts for it.
Okay.
And just one more example. So at the beginning, I did multiply 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll do multiply 7. Let's leave it like that. And this will hopefully it should multiply the 6 from the beginning of the conversation because it'll look over the entire conversation history and do 6 times 7. Oh no,
Oh,
I did it before.
It's all right.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. That's great. That's great that you have constructed this and built this out, because this is going to be a key piece to your application. So it's great to see this, and I know you're still working through this, but this is awesome, man.
Yeah, and
Any comments, questions from the team? There we go. Everybody's back. Any comments, questions? No.
I'll just say I thought that was really cool. I'm on Hector's team, and I've been exploring LangChain and LangGraph as well, and I've used his like repo as like a base for learning a lot of what he just talked about. So yeah, it was really cool to see everything just done in the terminal too.
Yeah. Hector, did you build all that by hand, or did you use AI to do some of it or all of it?
the first long like single file agent was just following the tutorial from LangChain. I didn't like have AI like directly learn from it, like or like alter it. I used ChatGPT as like brainstorming to like answer any questions I had. So
Gotcha.
like for the first part, I tried doing things by hand to learn how it all worked internally. Like
Yeah.
I still learned some stuff just a while ago, but like for this presentation, I used Claude Code to like implement like
Yeah.
nice things like that loading spinner you saw,
Yeah,
and
that's
the
cool.
colored text. Yeah, that was all Claude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, continue to leverage AI. Like, learning it is definitely the key here, but leveraging AI to like bring these little efficiencies in and all that stuff, because you can always backtrack and learn from how it does things too. So awesome, man. Great job. All right, Alex, you are up.
Yeah, let me share my screen real quick. Also, let me know if there's like a lot of bad echo as I'm talking. Just gonna do an entire screen. And then forgive me for all the tabs. I've been brainstorming like right before. But I honestly used a lot of my tokens, so I'm gonna kind of just like talk out loud and like walk you through.
Okay,
So
hold on.
I'm gonna
Hold
kind
on.
of like
Hold on. Give me, because I want the AI to auto generate these videos for you too. I gotta hide everybody else to get your picture. Hold on. Now Hector's there. Man, I don't like this app. All right, we're good.
sweet. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I kind of wanted to like walk through this to like help y'all out or kind of like share it with y'all to like be able to do it like pretty simply. And I don't really have a visual in my VS Code right now because I was running out of tokens because I was playing around with it like a little too much. So I'm going to kind of like talk out loud and explain like how to do this. So I'm going to talk about the newer thing that's been going around called Claude Skills, which allows you to like automate a bunch of stuff. And basically, to get it, you just need Claude Pro, which is like $20 a month, and then you install it. And once you install Claude onto your computer and your global files, which you just go to your computer users and then the user that you use mostly, and then you just scroll down to .claude. That's the Claude global file. And then in here, you'll see a folder called skills. If you don't see it, just come into this bar and type skills because a lot of times it doesn't show up. And then you just hit enter. And these are like some of the skills that I've built, which in order to build them, it's pretty simple. You just open up your terminal and anywhere in your computer, like I could do it like directly in VS Code and like I don't have to be in a specific directory or anything. I just open up Claude and be like, hey Claude, can you help me build a skill? And then it'll prompt you and ask you questions like, what do you want the skill to do? And then what do you have in mind, like an idea? And then the better and more detailed you prompt Claude, the better it can like build it out. And then it'll build it out for you, super simple. You don't really have to do much. And this is just an example that I'm going to show later. But let me move this down. So once it builds it out, it builds a skill.md file. What this basically is when the skill runs, the AI will read through this to understand what to do, like install certain packages. And then this skill, for instance, is like my GitHub PR reviewer, because I understand Claude is like really good at coding. So I want it to like review the code. And it'll fetch the PR information and it'll run these commands and scripts. So basically what these are is when you see this, Claude will run this command, which will go into your folder. And in this case, it can also create like a script folder that runs code. So like this code will be grab the PR URL and then it can comment suggestions and stuff like this. And here's an example of me using it, which is kind of slow at first because you got to keep prompting it to enable stuff. So like, for example, anywhere in my computer, I can just go review this PR for me and then attach the URL for it. And then it'll ask for my approval. And then once it's done, it'll give like a summary. And then at the end, it says, would you like me to post these findings? Which in this case, I'm not going to, because this is just for testing purposes, but I purposely made the function like this, and it gives a summary. It says a critical bug, it explains it. And it's basically saying you should not merge this, like do PR requested changes, and then ask you. And then if I were to say yes, it would actually go into the PR and then request those changes for me. So that's like one skill that I like to do. And I actually created like a complete workflow of coding to where if I wanted to for this hackathon, I don't really have to write code per se. Like I could just get the AI to do it, and I just got to prompt it detailed and then just build out those documents like more detailed, which there's like a Claude MD file, which when Claude code will read through that, it'll understand the project structure. And then in this case, Copilot. And then for Copilot coding agent, I could also create a agents.md file where when Copilot goes and does its thing, it'll actually read through that to understand the project structure as well, just like Claude. So this is like a Copilot coding agent. So like in order to use it, you do need Copilot, which is like $10 a month. You open up this panel and then you let it know what repo it is. And then you describe the task and then once you do that, you can have it select a branch that you create and then hit enter. Once you hit enter, it'll go build it out. It'll create the PR. It'll write the description, says what it does. And then this is just for Gridiron. So that's why the PR looks like this, like checklists and stuff like that. And then here's the example of the prompt that I gave it, where hard restrictions, like never create package lock because we use PNPM lock. And I basically don't want it to install anything without my approval. And then right here, I just gave it a task, like change the default value, like something simple. So then it gets that and it goes, and then it'll actually like build out the entire PR. And like you'll see here, like the files that changed like that. So the workflow will look like I will use Copilot, prompt it, go build the task. And then here, which I'll just show real quick, I also created a GitHub workflow that uses Claude Code for like code review, just because Claude Code's like stronger. And the only thing that you need with this is just like an API. So kind of like hooked it up to where anytime I use @Claude anywhere in my comments, it'll run this workflow for the project and then go double check that code and change it to whatever I wanted it to. So like to see the example here, which it hasn't been working right now. Like it keeps saying that it couldn't find the model, but I actually been copying and pasting the exact models from the documentation. So I definitely have to look into that. But if any of y'all like know more about this and can help me out, like that'd be awesome. I've been struggling for a bit. But basically, to explain it is, I changed the function name just for, and I'm just doing this just to test this until I get it work. But ultimately, the goal is I just do at Claude, change this function name to that, and then it reacts with emoji saying, basically telling you that it saw that you prompted it, and then it goes and does that for you. So I could basically tell it to go do anything for me. And then and what it should do is go change the code and then recommit to the PR, but it's just having a little issues right now. So yeah, ultimately the workflow is to like help automate with AI is I'll use Copilot, hit enter, and then I'll go watch TV or something, wait for my phone notification to come up that the PR is done. Then I can go in, review it myself, and if I want to make the changes myself, I can, or I could just do at Claude, hey, go change this because I know you're a bit better at coding than Copilot, so you go request this change. Or I could say, hey, update the Claude MD file to always use camel casing for like variable function names and stuff like that. And basically, like with all this, I could have AI build the code, build the PR, review it, make changes, approve it, and then I can just skim over it and approve. But yeah, so I built all that with like AI and stuff.
Cool. So, are you saying that you don't need to code at all? You don't need to learn how to code?
I do need, honestly, when I was doing this, it's starting to make me see that maybe your career will go from like writing code and doing all that to more so making the AI and stuff do the coding, whereas we do more of the planning and stuff like that. And I can also see it as like maybe your job could possibly turn into we're updating these skill files and we're updating like the Claude and agents files to make them better at coding and stuff like that. So maybe we're kind of like the managers to the AI. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I found the same thing too. Working with just building a side project, like it, you're gonna do less coding. You're gonna do more prompting, more oversight, and more tweaking and stuff, and more understanding. So, it's it's changing, and I think this hackathon is gonna help a lot because we're gonna be able to see the capabilities of all these agents and all these tools and just all these IDEs that have agents in there. Like it's just it's gonna change the game. That's all I'll say. I never like last year. You guys asked me this, and I was like, no, it's not ready yet. But when I saw it and how powerful it was at the AI accelerator, I said, no, we need to catch up. Like we need to learn this, and y'all need to get on this because then when you go to interviews, you can say, hey, I did this, 3-month hackathon, learn about AI, learn about MCPs, learn about all these things. It's going to be a better conversation than, oh, I'm still trying to break into tech. I'm still trying to learn how to code, right? So I think that's gonna be the big thing. So awesome, great job. I use Copilot code review myself at work, and I just created a bunch of rules, and it was able to do it very 80% accurate to what I want. And they updated it. Before it was like 10%. It was horrible. Now it's much better. So it's doing its job. So awesome, great job. Bradley, you are up.
Right.
All right, my turn to hide
Let
everybody
me
else.
share my screen.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. can you guys see this? Or can you guys
Yep.
hear me also?
I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay. All right. Cool. So for the gumshoes team on the the design side, uh, one of the things I did was create a logo for us. So I kind of had to think of ideas. So I kind of just like prompted like Gemini, like, hey, what are some logos for like what are some like logo variations you can make for like Allure AI? And then it gave me like a couple things. Then I just prompted like, oh, make it travel themed. So then I just saw one of the things that was very popular, or the ones that I liked, was like this globe with like a plane kind of just like swishing around it. So just based off of that, I just went in Adobe Illustrator and just kind of just made different variations. I'm not sure which one to use yet, but probably like the first three, the top three.
Do you
And
have like the example prompt that you used?
Oh, I could pull it up, I think.
That'd be cool and see.
Wait, is this still showing the Figma
Yeah.
screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's okay.
I
Don't
thought
worry
so.
about
I
it.
was like, hold on, let me switch back. Share something else.
Okay, can see it now.
Where is? Oh yeah. So first thing I just typed in like generate different versions of a logo named Allure AI, and then they gave me like a bunch of these. And then I just said, yeah, and then I put in like make the logos have a travel theme. And then these are what they gave me. And then I showed like a picture to like the rest of the gumshoes team, and they said like the top right would probably look the best. So I went off of that. Then I also asked, what are some fonts I could use for the logo? And then something like a sans serif font. I already like this font already, but I did like the curved L. So I tried. I was finding fonts online that were like similar. So I used a font called Railway, which had that curved L. And then just other AI stuff not related to the logo, but
So how did you come up with the final logo then?
oh, I just kind of used the top right logo and just kind of like remove the continents. I really like the plane. I know the Allure part meant like well then, or like so then, I forgot, but I just felt like the swish like represented movement, so it just felt fitting. And then I got to switch back to the Figma file. And aside from the logo, I was also working on the wireframes, but okay. It's being very slower now because like there's a bunch of stuff on my screen.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's just a bunch of low fidelity wireframes and components. Nothing too, well, yeah, but nothing like super structured so far. But I do want to have like a basis of what we're creating. Yeah, it's just filled with a bunch of like components and screens. I do have a little like prototype I do want to show off, just to show off how everything would kind of play out. So let's say this is like our homepage, and this is like the AA prompt right here. So the user types in like, what are some cool places to visit in Little Tokyo? And then you submit your prompt, and then you'll have your question up here. The AI results formatted into like cards. There's also these filters to help you kind of narrow down your search. Click on see more. There'll be like an overlay of that location, just showing pictures, description, and other contact information. If you click on, oh yeah, this is also like a scrollable frame you could go through, just in case if there's like a bunch of locations. There's also this add to itinerary button, yeah, which will just click right here, and then it'll add it to your itinerary. I haven't made a screen for like this list yet, but you could view this when you'll have a bunch of location cards that you'll have saved. And then also if you click on like related prompts, of course,
cool.
Ideally the page will like refresh with like a new set of results. Yeah. And I also thought it would be cool to have like a kind of like a drop down of like the previous questions, just in case if you want to like go back and see what you typed in. But yeah, that's pretty much the prototype I have right now. Once me and Monica figure out all the screens and discuss that, then hopefully we'll have something more concrete next time.
Awesome. So now with these screens, are you guys building a component library that the engineering team could use?
Well, nothing yet. I need to talk about it with Monica. We're gonna link up later. So
Got it. Awesome.
Yeah.
That would be the next piece to that. So that anything you design is paired up with the design system.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, let me bring everybody back. Right. Any questions, comments? I did have a comment for you from wait, did it work? There you go. I like the hot air balloon, but not the indication of flights that really.
Wait, there was a hot air balloon? I don't remember putting a hot air balloon.
I think it must have been some
Where
of the
did
other
you-
logos. In your
Oh,
prompt.
I think maybe. Wait, can I share my screen again real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because there's something on the wireframes that kind of looks like a hot air balloon, but it's not. My computer is trying to survive right now. It's holding on. All right. Is he talking about this?
I can't.
Nick, are you talking about this? Like,
we can't see your screen right now.
oh, what?
Sorry, it's probably a combination of Riverside and. Oh, there we go. Wait, how do I? There we go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these are pinpoints for like the map. not a hot air balloon. They're
Was he
pinpoints.
talking about the generated logos?
I mean,
That's fine.
I don't think it looks like a hot air balloon. It's whatever.
Yeah. Cool. No, this looks good. Awesome job. Logo looks fantastic. Looks super professional. I like how you took the AI logo and then stripped out what you want and then now it's like a cleaner version of it.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing like the wireframing too. That's a great way to kind of showcase how the page works because as engineers go through the design and workflow, they need to understand what happens when you click on what button, how to move through the flow of the pages. So it's going to help them a lot. Sweet. Jeremy, you are up.
Okay.
All right. I get to hide everybody else.
You guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
Maybe I can zoom in. So I'm on Team Gumshoes as well, and I've also been spending a lot of time in LangChain and trying to just learn that framework and how agent and sub-agent orchestration works. And I wasn't going to show too much code because a lot of it is built off of what Hector had showed earlier and what he did. Mine's based on a little bit of an earlier version, but I thought it might be cool to try and look into benchmarking different LLMs a little bit. I know that's like a requirement that we'll be doing later on down the road. And I know we've been sort of like under the impression that, you know, the LLM you choose does make a difference. And I just wasn't sure what that difference might look like with these different subagents. So I set up, again, like a very similar example. I added a flight subagent and also this attractions or like a things to do subagent. And I wanted to test, there's 3 different models I wanted to compare. One was GPT-4o, the Gemini 2.5 Flash model, and then Claude Sonnet. And so I created 2 different scenarios or 2 different prompts. This is the first prompt you can see here, which I wanted to test against the flight subagent. So I just asked the program, you know, help me find flights from DFW, so Dallas to New York City on January 11th for 1 adult. And I specifically didn't specify the year. And so when you leave the year out, GPT and Gemini both didn't return a result. And Gemini actually says that it's looking in 2025. And that's why it's using the same API that Hector showed from Amadeus, trying to find flights through that method. But when I switched to Claude, it did like correctly assume that the year was this year, which was kind of interesting. And here's the output that it generated based on that request. So,
oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Claude seems to use emojis here and there as well. So it kind of
Yep.
makes
I've seen that a lot.
some nice output. But it gave us like a few options with Frontier Airlines, Spirit Airlines, another through Spirit here. And then one through JFK, and it gives you like a nice summary down here saying like the Frontier flight to LaGuardia is like $120 and this is your best deal. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I will say though, it wasn't super consistent. Like if I change this prompt to a different month, Claude would also throw the same error. And sometimes the year, it doesn't figure out what the year is. So there was some like weird inconsistencies there. But the second example I wanted to test was against this like attractions subagent, which maybe I can just show this code real quick. This is just using the Google Places API, and it's taking a location and looking within like a 10-kilometer radius to try and find results. And all of this was actually written by Claude, which was kind of nice. But it's providing results and then formatting them to get like a name of a place, an address, like the Google rating, the number of reviews, like a price level, and like a Google Maps URL. And in the persona for this agent here, I just wanted to show this real quick. It says, you're an attractions and dining discovery agent specialized in travel recommendations. Your goal is to help users find the best places to eat, things to do, and experiences to enjoy at their destination. And down here, I specified when presenting results to the user, try and include all this information. So like include
That's cool.
Yeah, like a price level, and then a rating and number of reviews when available. And so this persona is like baked in, but the results doesn't always include all that information. So the prompt that I asked the agent was like, find me things to do in New York City this weekend. And they all gave me like decent results. So GPT organized it into like, top attractions, museums, parks, theaters, but it doesn't include that rating information. And there's no price information included in this output either. And if we go to Gemini, here's the results from Gemini. It does include the rating information. So it gives you a rating and a number of reviews. It gave very similar recommendations as well, like Central Park, Rockefeller Center. I'm not sure what this is. Summit, One Vanderbilt, Empire State Building. And then Claude.
Sonnet 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it had the best result and seemed to follow the instructions the best. So it gave like price when it could find it. There's not price available on all of these, but like for the parks, it'll say that it's free. And
that's cool.
It seems to be the most kind of complete result when you have like a vague kind of prompt. So this was just kind of like an experiment to see how each of these models like responds to the same.
Did you use Z benchmark to benchmark these?
I didn't. No, I probably should look into that.
Okay, you should definitely look into that. I think it will do the similar results. And also, like when you're benchmarking these agents, do you know how much it costs per agent? Because that is indicative of like which agent you might want to choose, right? Because let's say you want to save money on a certain call, you might want to use ChatGPT 410. But then when you want something very detailed and you're gonna need the details, you go with something more expensive, where then Claude Sonnet 4.5 will do the job for you, right? So you have to kind of balance that, because everything costs tokens, costs money to ask and to receive, and all of that. So I think that I don't know if you have considered that with your benchmarking yet.
Not yet, and that's a good point. So maybe this isn't really like an apples to apples comparison between them.
I mean, it is, but then like knowing how much it costs to, like saying like, okay, this is going to be 50 cents, whereas if you scroll up, the second agent that you have is going to cost 5 cents, right? Flash 2.5 Flash, but then Gemini go up to Chat GPT 4.0 is like 1 penny, right? So then you're like, okay, do I take 40 prompts to get this to where Sonnet is and then saving myself 50 cents, or do I not do that and just do a simple prompt and eat up the 50 cents? But then if you have 100 users, that's a lot of money. Or do you like fine tune the GPT 4.0 agent and give it more explicit rules and support so that it can get to where you want it, right? So that's why the benchmarking is nice, because then you can save yourself some money, because everything and anything you do with the agents, it costs tokens and it costs money. So you want to kind of find that balance, and that's why the benchmarking makes sense. Is which agent is going to be best for your case, because obviously you want to use the most expensive one, but but there's a budget, right? Like if you
Mhm.
go with Opus, then that one's even more expensive, but it gives you fantastic results. But you're gonna burn through your tokens real fast, opposed to
Yeah.
using like ChatGPT 4.0, where it's like, okay, this is really affordable. I can run millions of tokens, and still it only cost me 50 cents, but it's not the best results. So you kind of have to balance what you're willing to accept and like what you're trying to achieve, because obviously a prompt like this is something you want more detail, but what if it's just like, hey, what time is it? Right? If you use
Yeah.
Sonnet 4.5, you
Yeah.
just wasted a ton of money on giving you a one short string answer, whereas 4.0 probably could have done it for you for the same price, or not same price, but same answer for 1,000 times less. So like that's what you have to outweigh what you're trying to do.
Oh yeah, no, I know Zeke benchmark is like a tool I still need to look into. This was like very manual. I was just like commenting out code, commenting in code, just
Yeah.
to change the model. But
Yeah, definitely take a look at that. That is from Zephyr, and that is for us to utilize and to like build our agents off of. And I think that's going to help a lot. But this is great that you're investigating this, because this is the next piece for you guys, right? Is figuring this stuff out, benchmarking your agents, creating your agent personas, and then figuring out what agent is going to be the best for the case that you're looking for, because eventually that price will, come into factor, where which agent do we want to use. Because if we go for cheaper model, then our app is not going to be the best, right? Or we're going to have to fine tune it and do all this extra stuff to get to where we need to get to. Or do we, for this particular prompt, we just go with Sonnet 4.5 and eat up that cost and move forward and save costs elsewhere in the app. So that is going to be the key piece to this app, because you're going to have many agents, many micros, front ends, and you have to piece that all together. And so how do you do that efficiently and effectively? Because then in the end, like if you have like 100 customers come, right? Think about the 100 number. That's 1/100. And so if you run through it 100 times, how much does that cost? And then when you benchmark and you say, okay, now let's go to 1,000. Now how much is that going to cost? What if this blows up, right, to 10,000 users in a day? How much is that going to cost us? Right. So then you gotta have to figure out, okay, fine tuning that. Obviously, go with the lower number first so that you can get it going through, understanding what works, and then fine tuning your agent so that it gets better. Because if you fine tune the agent, it could be better. Like ChatGPT 4.0, it could get better. Like you can tell it, hey, I need the ratings, I need the price, and yada yada, right? Exactly what 4.4.5 a Sonnet 4.5 gave you. It could do that, but the 4.5 Sonnet is going to give you even more stuff too, right? It'll give you recommendations, links, reviews from multiple sources and stuff like that. So the better you tell your agent persona what to provide you, the more cost effective you can be.
yeah, that's a good point. I feel like or that's something I'd be interested in digging into, just trying to give it more like guardrails or more boundaries to consider to get the same result.
Yeah, but that's the fun part, right? Now you can go back and say, hey, I got this first pass done. Now let's go tweak it. Let's make it better, and let's figure out how we can do what Sonnet 4.5 did, but with 4.0, right? Or close to. I don't know if you'll get there.
Yeah.
But if you can get close to that and you're like, hey, you know what? It only costs us pennies to run this, and this is what we get. I take that, right? Opposed to like the full-fledged document of 4.5, that what Sonnet 4.5 gives you. Like it's just you gotta outweigh what you need and what it costs, right? Yeah, dude, they always give you emojis. I've been using it too for my Cloud Opus and Sonnet. Every time I'm doing like a graph or a list or results, it does some emojis for me. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's much nicer, but that does eat up more tokens, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So you can tell, your agent to do that. Like everything that you do, if there's an emoji that matches it, please add it. Cool, man. Anything else that you wanted to showcase?
That's all for today. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Great job. I'm gonna bring everybody back. Oh, you have to stop sharing first. Then available while screen share. Okay, let's bring everybody back. Oh man, I don't like this UX. Slow down. Any questions or comments for Jeremy? Any kudos to any of the Sprint demoers? Man, y'all are quiet, man. You guys need like a Red Bull or something. Sponsored by Red Bull.
I feel like I need
no.
to leverage Claude skills that Alex was showing. Like that seems like a very powerful, just like way to start building and not having to spend so much time deep in the weeds with code and having Claude do as much as you can for you.
Yeah, skills are. It doesn't have to be code too. It could be this. Okay, I'll give you guys a hint. It could be you build a travel agent. Okay, and it could help you dissect that and be like, oh, hey, what am I missing, right? Because like we're not experts in the travel industry, but you can create one and it could do as much as it can, and then it could be like, hey, you're forgetting taxes on that, right? Taxes are a huge thing for groups or whatever. There's big implications on that. Or hey, if you go through a travel agency, it's 20% off, right? Like things like that where we may not know, but the agent could be like, hey, like just letting you know, you could save yourself 15% if you went through this route. So it could be content related, it could be data related, it could be anything. But yeah, cloud skills are huge. And I've been sharing a lot of resources in our Discord too. There's a lot of free resources out there that people are creating skills already. And you can just pluck those files and throw it into your IDE. Awesome. Well, I just want to let you guys know you guys did awesome job. I know sharing is not easy, but the more you share, the easier it gets, right? I know Hector, the first time you shared, you've gotten so much better, dude. The first time you were really nervous, and I was like, all right, Hector, don't worry about it. You'll get better. You know, we just got to continue to show your work and all that stuff. And today you were really good. It was much smoother, cleaner. You were able to articulate what you were doing and everything like that. But it takes the opportunity to get to that point. And this is what these sprint demos are. It's not just to kind of showcase what you're doing, but it's also to practice your presentation skills, and also like to share to the world like what you're learning. AI is huge today, and like every week there's something new coming out. So you know, who knows, next week it could be something else, and we're already falling behind. But to be able to learn these skills and understand it and dig deep and just discover how these things are working, right? And to allow our other individual members to kind of learn from us too. Like all you guys is showing new skills and stuff with cloud skills, with the benchmarking, with the LLM, with like just being able to prompt the AI to create a logo. Like these things, like some people don't even know you can do some of these things, right? But all these tools are available out there, and this is only scratching the surface. So I'm super excited to see more demos next week. We'll have this sprint demo a little later, so that the individuals that work can attend that, and they can do some demos as well. But don't like, please keep demoing. Like if it's like, hey, I got better at my cloud skills tool or whatever it is, show that too, right? Because every opportunity you have to showcase how you've improved, it's a win for you to showcase to us and like people online, like what you're learning, what you're doing, and that goes a long way. So, but Yeah. Anything else from anybody? Any comments? I guess one question I have for everybody that wants to answer this is, how has this learning been so far? It's been what, like a month or so now. Like, how has it been to like actually dive into learning AI and learning some of these things, learning how to create them, learning how to play with them, learning how what models do what? Like, how has that been?
I can go first. Honestly, like shooting a fire hose of water right at my face. Like there's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I probably need to decompress after this because like I was still working. Like I've been working like every day, all the time, like seeing what I can build. And like when I think, oh my gosh, I can do this, like more stuff shows up. Or when I say, oh my gosh,
yeah.
I can do this, there's another way to do it or something, or like something better. But there's just so much.
Yeah, I feel mm, pretty much the same. Like my past experience with AI is just using the free Chat GPT account for like debugging and brainstorming.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it was just in the last week that I finally got Claude Code. It wasn't even for this hackathon. I had a problem in one of my personal projects that I've been working on for like 2.5 days. So I gave it to Claude and it solved it in like 30 minutes. So I was like both like annoyed and really impressed. So and now with all these things like Alex showing off Claude skills, and
Oh,
I did like another course that talked about like pre-tool use hooks and
hmm,
post-tool hooks, and like I don't know, it just feels like I'm both behind and learning at the same time.
yeah.
But yeah, I
That's
also feel
awesome.
like AI is kind of like all over the place now. So even if you don't learn everything now, I feel like it's still pretty messy now. So even if you wait another 6 months, like people could wait 6 months until every all the kinks are figured out and like the
Yeah.
best practices come, and once like there's the definitive guides and things like that. Yeah, but then in those 6 months, something new will come out. So
That's
yeah,
true.
it just keeps iterating.
That's very
Mm.
true. Yeah, that's amazing because that's true. Like, I was amazed by it too when I said, "Hey, refactor this project I've been building," and it was just in plain JavaScript. I said, "Make it a React app and make it a mono repo and make it with that, all this stuff." It did it within, I don't know, 10 minutes, dude. Like, I was like, that would have taken me like 4 days. It just did it. I was like, okay, it's not. It looks, there's gonna be some like additional junk that comes with any automated tools, but it did it right, and it got the job done, and so I was really impressed with that too.
Yeah, I do think it's important to like not just press the skip and do all edits for
Hmm.
everything, and every once in a while just read through what it's doing
Yeah,
and not just blindly accept it. I like that's what I've been doing with the AI agents, and just like reading through every change that it's doing. I also learn a lot that way.
Yeah, I'll say that's something I've kind of been hesitant to let it automate too much. Like when you send a prompt to Claude, I'll always have it ask me, even if it wants to run like a bash command, I'm just like, okay, what are you trying to do in the terminal? I just want to like know what it's doing step by step, which I guess at some point maybe you can just say like, you don't have to ask me this, just keep going. But I'm still trying to build like comfortability with giving it more control, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Like, I do some stuff. I'm like, dude, just go, just do it. I don't want to sit around for it. Just do it. Because I already know like what it might do. It might change. Because then you can always tell it, hey, revert that. Like, the best thing is use GitHub, right? Git repo, um, because then it versions it, and you say, hey, dude, go back to the other version. Bring that back, and it can do that. because if you do it without it, then obviously the history is lost. But it looks at the changes, and they can revert and whatever. So
Hmm.
that's pretty cool. Anyone else?
I can share something.
Yeah.
So I'm a designer, so I haven't worked with AI before, not at this level. So I have learned a lot about AI. So yeah, so Alex created a simple document which explained like what is AI agents, what is LLM, what is MCP, and whatnot. So that helped me a lot in understanding those things. And then I also learned about the limitation of AI. So I was in a notion that with ChatGPT you can book flight tickets and other things, but then I realized like I think the team told me that this is not possible. That is the limitation of AI. Because I thought that you can just create some workflow and then it will do the work for you, but that's not how it works. So
Mm-hmm.
that is something I have learned so far. So it's been a very like exciting and learning experience for me so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's where it starts, right? Just like getting over the prompting and being like, hey,
Mhm.
what can AI do? What can't it do? And how
Yeah.
do I get it to do what I want it to do? Right? Because you want to do all these things, you think, oh, it's magic. Go and just book me the most effective, most cost, fuel efficient, whatever price, and give me the lowest cost. Right? Go do it. No, it can't do that. It will hallucinate and be like, here you go, and then it's like, it's not the most cost effective. It just like thinks that's the most cost effective, opposed to like you giving it tools and regulations and rules and all these like MCP servers and giving it structure. Then it can
Mhm.
actually do it correctly and properly. But that's one thing I'm learning about AI too is it can only do as much as it knows until you feed it more and you like fine tune it, right? And for coding, right? For our us engineers, this is not in a bad way at all, okay? But working with AI is like working with a junior developer. It does things you're like, what are you doing? Why did you build it that way? Like I'm building these two apps right now. I'm like, okay, go change it here and change it here too. Okay, it does it. And then later on I find out that hey, I only did it in app A and not app B. And I'm like, didn't I tell you to do it in both of them at all times? Like what are you doing? And like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you meant only do it for. I'm like, no, 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 no. I told you to always do it for both, right? And so it's like trying to guide it, and that's exactly how humans are too. If you're very vague, it's gonna do what it thinks it's supposed to do, opposed to what it should do. And that's why when you're more specific and you give it guidance and you give it direction and you give it like very detailed prompts, then it's like, oh, okay, there's like no wiggle room. This is the way. This is how I'm gonna do stuff. So, yeah, it's a huge learning curve for all of us, and we're going to continue to learn along the way. I'm super excited to see where this goes and where all of your learnings are at the end of this. So, yep, the next sprint demo is next week. We're going to probably do it a little later so that other individuals can join, but I'm super stoked about what's to come. The teams are building right now, so they're trying to come up with the agent personas, doing benchmarking, building the frameworks, figuring out what pieces are going to be module federated, which are micro front ends. Hopefully, next time we can showcase Zephyr Cloud and how that infrastructure feeds into our applications and all of that too. So definitely keep tabs on us. We're going to be continuing to learn more about AI, and I hope to see you in the next one.